All right, so in this video, we're going to be working on the Turbo LS Chevelle build and installing a full 3-inch exhaust system on it. So the video clips you're about to see span over 2 years because I bought this exhaust system, 2 years ago, and I started installing it, started fitting it up, and I realized it was taking a lot of time. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really need exhaust to get it on the road because I really wanted to just get it running, drivable, and you can always do exhaust later, right? And then I moved. So here we are 2 years later. It's winter right now here in Chicago, so I figured this would be a good thing to do over the winter. And I also had a muffler on back order. So I had the exhaust system and I had one muffler, but the other muffler was on back order for months, during COVID and all that. So anyway, it was time to get it done. I was sick of it being loud because I plan on driving this thing quite a bit, and I want to leave my house at 7 a.m. with this thing, and I also want to come home at 11 a.m. at night, or 11 p.m. at night, and I just don't want to piss anyone off, right? Wake up the whole house, the neighbors and whatnot, so I want it quiet. All right, so I went with a Pipes 3-inch system, and the reason, I don't think I need 3-inch all the way back, but I got a good deal on this. Normally this kit retails for $400 to $600 or something crazy like that. I think I got it for $150 or $250 on clearance at Summit Racing, and it's 409 stainless. So what the hell? I'll just go dual 3-inch. So this thing has a turbo on it. It's a 3-inch downpipe, one 3-inch downpipe, and then I found a merge which splits it to dual 3-inch. Okay, right by the drive shaft, tail shaft of the transmission, and then it goes to two big ass mufflers and out all the way to the bumper. Now in the future, if I want to get it a little louder, I can put in a boost activated loud valve or whatever. I'm not worried about that. I want it quiet because I don't want any droning inside the cab of the car or the interior, and I want to have a conversation with people. So before it was just so loud, man. So so anyway, here's the video, and we'll come back and I'll talk about how it is. Okay, well, I decided to just chop out all the exhaust from the Chevelle. This is how I bought the car, and this was a 2.5-inch H-pipe dual exhaust. Okay, these are some just cheap turbo style mufflers, and all the pipes. The reason I cut it out is all these pipes were not mandrel bent. So look at all these kinks, if you will. Okay. And also this portion of the tubing that went over the axle for the tailpipes, just the fitment was very poor. It rubbed here, it rubbed over there, it made all kinds of noise, and if I was to shift it around a little bit to see if it would fit good, I just couldn't get it to work. Okay, so I'm like, you know what? It's just time to get rid of all this and start fresh. All right, so here's the pipes. Full 3-inch exhaust kit. So this is no H pipe, no X pipe, no mufflers. I'm buying my mufflers separate, and we'll talk about the mufflers that I'm going to use in a second. But anyway, so here it is, full 3-inch kit, and here is one of the tailpipes. This looks like the driver's side. So 3-inch, man, it's insane. It's big. I had a 2.5-inch dual kit on here, and it barely fit. So this is going to be very interesting on how it should fit up. Okay, but man, the pipes look really nice. All the bends are super smooth, mandrel bent. All the ends are nicely deburred and they're clean. So so far it looks really nice. I don't know how the hell I'm going to fit this in there, but anyway. So there are the tailpipes, and then here are the extension pipes. So this would go on the muffler, and then this would go to the collector or the header, but we're not doing that, so we'll see how these fit up as well. And then it came with these guys. I guess they're extensions, but don't know if I'm going to need them. So the kit came with a bunch of hangers. So here's a hanger for the muffler, and this looks kind of, this is the stock style hangers, okay? And I guess how that works is the clamp goes right through here, And obviously the muffler would be right here or whatever, and then these, I don't know, they get bolted somewhere onto the frame. Okay, so that's, you know, stock or whatever. It also came with tailpipe hangers, so these are stock style hangers. Tons of clamps. Now, I plan on welding most of the joints and connections because it's better and it'll look cleaner. And also what I plan on doing, instead of using these clamps and not welding from the muffler to tailpipe joint, you know, these you can just see from outside the vehicle. Meaning, like, if I stood 20 feet back from the vehicle, you always see the threads of these clamps and the bolts. So I think it kind of looks kind of ugly. So what I want to do is put V-bands on the back there, and these are obviously cleaner looking, lower profile, and then these are quick release. Okay, so all it is one screw. Once you loosen it up a little bit, that you flip that open, and then bam, all your stuff comes apart. So this will be welded to the tailpipe, and then this to the muffler, and I think it's just a better solution. These aren't cheap. They're $30 some a piece. I got these from Monkey Fab, but these are high quality V-bands because they have the quick release, full metal lock nut. There's no nylon in there, and overall, you know, these are good quality. I have bought $20 V-bands, and they aren't nice as this. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. Also, I wasn't sure that this kit was going to come with hangers, so what I did is I bought these. So these are just walker hangers, and you can see it's just you know, you just bolt this down to whatever, and then here's a hanger, which I will weld to the pipe or the muffler or whatever. And these are like $4.50 each. Okay, so I bought 6 of these, 2 for the back of the tailpipe, 2 at the muffler, and probably 2 at the Y-pipe merge near the downpipe. And this is what was on my car prior. With the 2.5-inch exhaust system, there was a bunch of these on there. So they worked well then, and you know, I'm probably going to do this because it just looks a lot cleaner than all this. Okay, so we'll see. All right, so here are the mufflers that I'm using. This is just one of them, obviously. It's the Dynomax 17665. It's 3-inch in, 3-inch out. Offset, okay? Now this thing is freaking huge. The case is 22 inches long. So this is it's big. And then it is 6 inches in height. So it's a very large muffler. I'm gonna run 2 of them. And now this is not a straight through muffler. Straight through muffler usually has a tube that just goes straight through the thing and some packing to quieten it. But those are just, I found them to be too loud for what I'm trying to do. So this guy here there's a deflector here, does an S curve this way. So there's, you know, it does an S through here, so that's why it'll be quieter. Free loss horsepower on this, when you're using 2 of it, it's like 550 horse. So obviously I'll lose a little power above that, but whatever. People on the Chevelle forum are running these with 540-inch big blocks, running 8s, 9s at the track. Obviously driving it there, driving it home. So it'll be fine just for what I'm doing. But it's going to be a pain to fit up under the car. I mean, it's tight. And what I'll probably have to do is trim this and put my V-band on because it's a little long. So I'll probably trim one of those off. Okay, I'll do my best to get a shot of this. This is just a mock-up, so I have the muffler on a jack here. And it needs to move back about 1 inch or 2 and up a couple inches to fit in the pocket of the floor. Okay, and then over here, we have a slip joint. It's not fitted fully in, and I plan to V-band this. So what I'll do is I'll trim the tailpipe and maybe even trim a little bit off the muffler and then put the V-band on there, because basically it needs to move. The tailpipe needs to move forward a couple inches. So you can see the center line of the axle tube doesn't meet up with this, so I need to move it, okay? And then I'd like to tuck the tailpipe up higher. I can't do that right now because it's too long, and you know, they say that in the instructions saying, hey, this extends past the bumper or under the valance. And my goal is to tuck it up tight so you can't even see it, or minimal pipe shown from this angle here. And I'm not doing any tips or anything. What I'm going to do over here is I'm going to do a 45 turn down or slash cut and tuck it up as tight as possible. I don't want to see any exhaust whatsoever. I mean, that right there, even if it was a tip, I think would look terrible. Just big 3-inch pipes on each side under the bumper. I think that would look terrible. So anyway, I'm going to trim a little bit off the tailpipe here. And then I'm going to trim a little bit right here where it plugs into the muffler. And then we'll put it back in and see how it fits. Okay, so I took 3 inches off the tailpipe where it meets the muffler, and I've taken 8 inches off the back tailpipe. Now, what I want you to notice is I'm going to, move this tailpipe around to where I think I want it, and then notice how far off it is at the muffler. So what I think I'm going to have to do is cut this leg right here, right where it transitions to vertical, and then I might have to take a couple inches out of this right here so I can get this tucked up how I want. So let me hold it and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, so see how far off I am right here where I'm tapping with my hand. I'm almost a good 2.5, 3 inches too low. So, if I hold this pipe right here, you can see back here, my left hand, the tailpipe is tucked up nice and tight in this cavity. I got a piece of rubber hose here for clearance. And if I just go like this and hold it up, that's kind of where I want it. It looks really good right there, but again, you can see that I need to take some off of the drop here so I can tuck the muffler up tight. So the goal, what I'm trying to do here, is tailpipe tucked up in between the quarter and the frame rail here, real tight, and then I want to tuck the muffler up. So I think I have to make that cut and make that happen. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, here's some cell phone footage of where I'm at. This little guy is in here just to check the clearance in here, and it's a 1/4 inch or so. So there's that. The muffler is still on this jack, and it's you can see that this is where the pocket is for a muffler, and it's the back seat area. So it just fits in here. I mean, it fits in here nice. So you can see I'm trying to get the muffler as high as possible. This is about as high as it can go, because if I go any higher, well, then this tube crashes into it. And, I got that much clearance to the drive shaft. So basically, want to try to run the tubes as close to the drive shaft as possible. Here's where I'm going to 90, and then here's where it's going to be the merge. But anyway, let's go to the back. Okay, so I trimmed 1 1/4 inch off of the muffler and tacked the V-band on here, and then tacked the V-band onto this guy. This is where we took 3 to 3.5 inches of straight section out. Okay, so that'll tuck the muffler closer, to the floor or whatever. Okay, I don't have any hangers on it. It's just supported by bungees and jack stands and whatnot. So I might have to push it a little forward, because I'm going to take the the suspension through its travel and make sure I get good clearance right here. But overall, great clearance. I just have to push this. I'm going to put a tube in here. I can stick my fingers in here, so I will see how I can, it's still loose. So I will push this over before I get a hanger on it. I need to jam a tube in here or a piece of wood or whatever. So that looks great. I have, clearance up here, clearance to the spring, and then here it hugs around the corner of the gas tank great. And then here, you see this little dimple in the frame? That's for the exhaust, and that guy fits in there just perfect. Okay, so I kind of have it 95% of where I want it. And then, of course, here I try to tuck up the tailpipe as tight as possible. So this car is really low. You're not even going to see this. Okay, you might see a little bit of that behind the wheel, but you're barely going to see any of this tailpipe, so that's awesome. All right, let's go under here. You can check it out. So clearance looks great. Jesus, this is hard to videotape. So plenty of clearance around the gas tank. Here I'm going to jam a tube in here as well for clearance, and then there'll be, a hanger right here. And then I'm not going to worry about this right now, but my goal is to do just a 45 slash cut here. I don't want anything protruding past the bumper. And here it is from the rear. This is as far back the camera I can get it. So I don't know. I might even just leave something like that. Maybe I'll put tips on it. I have no idea. I'm just leaving it like that for now until I can get this thing out of the garage and stand back and look at it and see what I want to do. But you can see I try to get it up as high as possible here between the frame rail and the quarter. Obviously it can go higher, but unfortunately that's probably as high as it can go with the way it is. Okay, through the tire on, you can see I have just enough clearance here in between the frames, so I can still play with this tube a little bit. So I will play with all the clearances and try to get as best as possible, but I think that so far it's turning out pretty great after the modifications. Okay, so I brought the rear end up, and this is kind of worst case scenario when the center line of this meets here, and this is the clearance I got to play with. So that's the frame, this is the tire. So this is probably going to be a problem. I will probably split the clearance, and if it's a problem, well, then I'll have to ding the pipe a little bit or whatever. But I mean, I have 11, 12-inch wide tire, 11 and a half or something like that. So that's not helping. The tires can't go out any further. So, I mean, I'll have to split hairs here and see what happens, but it's probably definitely going to rub for sure. But, oh well, I'll see what happens. But everything else looks really good. All right, so the exhaust is done. It's all tacked up, so I just got to pull it off and weld it up fully. But I just want to give you a side shot here. And as you can see here on the left, where's my finger? There it is. In between the two jack stands, that's the hot side crossover going to the turbo. So, and then looking back here, you can see the 3-inch exhaust is tucked up nicely, and it hangs a little bit. I had to go under the cross member, obviously, but the rest of it is tucked up pretty nice. And if you just kind of pan up a little bit, I mean, it's tucked up nice. I try to do my best there. So let's crawl under the car and see what's going on. Okay, so here's my downpipe. You can see I had to add about 1.5 inches or so. So I cut that there. I had to undo the heat wrap, cut it, and add 1.5 inches because there just wasn't enough clearance for the V-band, and it was up into the floor and whatnot. I mean, it was literally touching the floor. So anyway, I got that, and as you can see right here, I got, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch clearance. So it's single downpipe, 3-inch. And then it comes over here. And then what I did is I bought this 3-inch to dual 3-inch merge. I bought this on Amazon. It was like 50 bucks. And it worked out great. So I kind of tucked it up here where like an X pipe or an H pipe would live. And I got that here. And then it transitions to dual 3-inch over here. And here's the drive shaft. This is the clearance here, 3/4 of an inch or so. And that's about the same clearance when it's at full droop, when the tires are in full down position. So plenty of clearance there. Got big mufflers, man. These mufflers are huge. Pain in the ass to get everything lined up. And then over here you see on the left, right there, that's a tight spot, but it honestly is a good 5/8, 3/4 away from there. And right now, the ride height, you know, the wheels are halfway down. When you jack this thing up, or at normal ride height, the drive shaft is well above the mufflers. So it's going to be a non-issue because it's way up there. So that's cool. Clearance here, you can see I got plenty of clearance to the floor. So yeah, I think that turned out real nice. Got a single 3-inch downpipe. It splits to 2 big-ass mufflers. It's going to be quiet. And I'll show you the tailpipes in a second. Now in the future, if I ever feel this system is restricting power or whatever, I can add a cutout here. So I have room to play with here. And you know, maybe I'll do that. They make like boost-activated cutouts and stuff. All right, so let's go back here, look at the tailpipes. All right, so these were fun. You can see I got V-bands back here, so I had to trim a little bit off the muffler because they're really long. You can see that, like, it takes up the full pocket, if you will, of where this muffler lives, where a muffler can live. Over here, I had to cut 3 inches out of the vertical, and if I didn't, this muffler would have been 3 inches lower. So that was no good. So I had to cut that out, tack that up, and then over here, I was able to tweak the pipes, not tweak it, but I was able to fit them such that I got nice clearance to the tire, nice clearance to the gas tank, and then I'll give you a side shot, but it's nice tucked up in this area here where it should live. Sorry, I'm on my back right now with the cell phone. So, right here, plenty of clearance all around to the shock. Can't see, but I definitely have. It's a little tight to the shock, but again, this is just a cover. If it became an issue, I can just take that cover off. I'm not really worried about it. So anyway, that's that. And then what I did is I tried to tuck up these tailpipes. So this is pretty much level with the valance. So from a side view, I wanted to get the tails up nice and tight. I don't know what I'm going to do for exhaust tips yet. I really don't want anything. I don't even want you to see this exhaust. And I'd like to do like little turn downs, just like 45-degree slash cut turn downs. But for now, I'll leave it like this. And of course, I could trim them. Looks like I need to trim this one here on the passenger side a little bit relative to the driver's side. But anyway, that looks pretty good. Same thing over here. Really good clearance to the tire. So it's a little tight here by the gas tank right here. So I'm going to have to massage this flange on the gas tank a little bit just to gain a little more clearance. Not a big deal. But really good clearance to the shock and all around and whatnot. So I'm I'm happy with the way it turned out. I mean, there was a couple little things that I wish would have went a little bit better, but overall, geez, man, this was a huge pain in the ass. So 3-inch pipes are no joke, man. They're big. And, you know, overall, from the back, you're not going to see the mufflers at all. You know, you can barely see the pumpkin when it's on the ground. Of course, I got some trimming and welding to do. This is all just tacked up, but it's living where it needs to live. So I'm going to take it all down, weld it up, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, so here's this section all welded up. So you got the mufflers with V-bands, and I got the hangers. It's all fully welded up. There's that 3 to dual 3 merge, V-band up front. So this, and there's my downpipe over there. So anyway, that's a manageable section. So the exhaust consists of the downpipe, this midsection, and then the tails, which are still hanging in the car. So this is all easy to remove and disassemble, and so forth. So some of these welds look pretty good, and some of them look pretty dang ugly. So anyway, that's that. And then, man, I tell you, this job, it took a long time. I want to say I got 8+ hours fitting this all up, trimming. I bought this U section, thought I'd need it. Bought the Flex a long time ago, thought I would need it. And then here are all the scraps from this exhaust kit. So I had to trim a bunch of little stuff off, you know, trim a little at a time. Here are some slivers. Some of these are even at 1 to 2 to 3 degree angles that I did with this bandsaw setup. Dude, if you guys don't have one of these, I just picked this up not too long ago. You don't need a Milwaukee, but a Portaband deep cut bandsaw, and then Swag Off-Road makes these stands, and turn it into a little bandsaw. And this was great for cutting all these pipes. And man, look at all this. Look at all these shavings. That's how much cutting I had to do. It's everywhere. And then one of these belt sanders are nice to sand it true afterwards. Don't forget the deburr tool and the file. And then something else is I bought a new welder. You know, I had the Eastwood MIG, but that was a 220 volt version only. So I picked up the Prime Weld MIG 180. It's a dual voltage machine, 120 or 220. So I don't have 220 out here yet. So that thing's great. So that was an awesome, you know, just nice to have that. Okay, so it's actually really quiet. I didn't think it would be this quiet, and it actually sounds freaking stock, like a stock minivan, right? But that's fine. I haven't had it on the road yet, but I heard that, you know, you actually step on it and these mufflers actually will be kind of much louder. And also, when I had it open header, you still heard the turbo like crazy. So now there's going to be more focus on the turbo noises, which is going to be pretty cool. So that will get people's attention for sure. And there's nothing better than having a quiet car and you just freaking fly by somebody, or you step on it and you just say, see ya. So I think that's pretty cool. Before with the open header, I got a lot of looks, man. It was crazy. So some bad looks too. So anyway, that's it for this video. There's a whole playlist in the upper right. Thanks for watching.